Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Tar Wow here on December 4th, and Dragonflight came out on the 28th of November, and I'm pretty much just making a beginner's guide for Discipline Priest here, and I'm not going to be covering anything too complicated. Like I said, this is a beginner's guide for Discipline Priest with healing rotation and talents. That's pretty much it. I'm going to be going into a more in-depth guide in another video with everything, races, talents for different arena comps, what you're facing, and just a bunch of stuff like that. This is for just beginning though, so this talent tree that I made up is just, like I said, it's for complete beginners. It looks a little different than the talent you would normally run, but this is the easiest one that I could make because it's going to be less kill potential and more healing, so you can really focus on and learn the healing rotation before you go into this harder spec with more buttons. So we're gonna be having prayer mending, focus mending, and then we can also play cardinal mending for our third PvP talent right here, which this is gonna give big healing for prayer and mending. And you would only really want to run prayer mending versus things that are like dot comps or battlegrounds that have people like affliction warlocks in it. It'd be really good. But if they don't have like rock comps, then it is going to be pointless to run this. But it is safe to run this into random battlegrounds at all times. This build right here. Now we're going to be going down here to Surge of Light. Your healing spells and might have an 8% chance to make your next flash heal instant costing mana. Chose this route instead of the mind games route, like I said, because there are less buttons to press and you get more instant free cast, and it's just easier in my opinion to learn on than going on the mind games route and then having to know when to mind games and what target to mind games. So I think this is a lot easier. And then on the discipline side over here, we are going to be taking all of this, like right here. And one thing is, if you really don't want to play Schism, you don't have to. You can learn without Schism, of course, but I recommend at least getting Schism because you're not taking mind games just yet. You're not taking all these other buttons. Might as well just go with Schism, or you can take out Schism and then add it in later. But if you are going to take out Schism, then I recommend taking out Twilight Equilibrium, and then you can put these talents into anything else you want to. But for right now, I recommend these two in there. And yeah, so what are you going to do? How are you going to heal? Is your goal on how to heal? And your goal how to heal is you want to heal through atonement healing, which atonement healing is whenever you use powered shield, flash heal, renew, and powered radiance, it applies atonement to your target for 15 seconds. Whenever you use radiance, it puts atonement on 5 people, but it's actually only 60% of the normal duration of atonement. And then your spell damage heals all targets affected by atonement for 40% of damage done. So if you hit a 10,000 on a penance on an enemy and you have atonement on somebody, it's going to heal them for 4,000. And keep in mind, you're putting radiance on 5 people in a battleground, and you're going to have atonement on about like 6 people, 6, 7 people in a battleground. You throw out one penance, that's a lot more healing. And it's a lot more healing you're doing with atonement than regular just throwing a penance for healing. And you're also doing big damage. So discipline is one of the highest damage dealers. I think it's the highest damage dealer. I'm pretty sure it's the highest damage dealer for healers. And I say that because I'm not sure about Evoker right now. I'm pretty sure they have a really crazy strong build. But yeah, that's what you're going to want to be doing, is focusing on keeping up your atonement with Power Word Shield and Renew, and using damage to do it. So we're going to talk about what are you supposed to do when you first run into a battleground. What you're first supposed to do is you run in there and you have this ability, Purge the Wicked. This is going to replace your Shadow Word Pain. And whenever you put Purge the Wicked on an enemy, you can penance that enemy and it'll spread Purge the Wicked to another enemy. This is really good to get those dots rolling out there and start spreading. And Atonement healing, it helps for Atonement healing really well. And then Revel in Purity, this talent right here, it spreads to an additional 1 target with penance, and it increases the damage by 5%. So whenever you first go in there, you're going to want to place a power word shield on your guy, on your teammate who is most likely to take damage. So a melee on your team, like a warrior, and then you can renew like a demon hunter on your team, another melee that's running in there. You know, try to get maybe 2 to 3 atonements up right then and there, and then go in and throw a Purge the Wicked dot on an enemy and then penance that enemy, and it's instantly going to spread that Purge the Wicked to 3. You're gonna have Purge the Wicked on 3 different enemies as soon as you go in the battleground. And now every single time you penance, you're going to penance an enemy that has Purge the Wicked on them. And this is going to, it's going to just spread Purge the Wicked over and over. And with this this talent build, I have Painful Punishment, so every time your penance bolt hits, it extends the duration of Shadow Word Pain, which is, Purge the Wicked by 0.7 seconds. So it's going to keep on applying that Purge the Wicked, and it's going to keep spreading it. So really good. Now, in order to do, you have a burst healing, a burst damage, which is, it's also a burst healing, but your burst damage does a lot of damage, especially with the second talent build I'm going to show you, which is the advanced talent build. This is the beginner talent build, like I was saying. I'll show the advanced one in just a moment, but you're going to want to do, for your damage rotation on this beginner one, with Twilight Equilibrium, whenever you use a shadow spell, your next holy spell, a shadow damage spell, your next holy damage spell is increased by 15%. And the next time, whenever you use a holy damage spell, your next shadow damage spell is increased by 15%. So it bounces back and forth from light to light to shadow. So what you want to do is you want to press Schism, which is going to deal damage, a decent amount of damage. And it's also going to increase spell damage that the target takes from you by 15%. So you're going to want a Schism, which is a shadow ability, and then you're going to want to use a holy damage ability. And then that next damage ability, that holy damage ability, is going to be increased by 30%. So you're going to want to Schism into a penance. And that's going to be a big penance because you're going to have Blaze of Light, the damage of your smite and penance is increased by 15%, and it also decreases the movement speed of whoever you're penancing by 50%. And then you have Sins of the Many on always, and this is increasing your damage by 30%. And then the more people you have Atonement on, the less damage you do, but, more people you have Atonement on, the more people you're healing. So if you really want to do big damn, then you're going to do, not as much Atonement, but in Battlegrounds you're going to do more Atonement healing. You're really focused on the Atonement healing. So you want to Power Word Radiance whenever everybody's getting low, and then you can Schism into a penance. Now what you can do out of that is you can also Mind Blast, since it's a shadow ability, and then you can press something else like Halo, which is a really big ability. It's pretty big. It's pretty good, in my opinion, in Battlegrounds. Now, that is really it for the beginner guide. For the beginner, I'm going to go over the PvP talents too. Ultimate Radiance, you always want to take this. 100%, always start with Radiance. Dome of Light, if you're beginning, just take it always. These are the 2 that you want to take always as a beginner. And then Cardinal Mending is the 3rd one. It's a good choice that you can take with Prayer Mending. Of course, if you don't want to play this Prayer Mending build, or you don't want to use Prayer Mending, it's one less ability. You can take Inner Light and Shadow is a really good one. It's safe. Spell damage and Atonement healing increased by 10%, so you're doing more damage and more Atonement healing. So that's really good. You get big healing from Atonement. I love this one a lot. And another one is Catharsis. 20% of all damage you take is stored. The stored amount cannot exceed 15%, and you whenever you use Purge the Wicked, all that damage is put out into the enemy. So this one is really good whenever you're getting trained, or whenever you are facing Affliction Warlocks. This can be good as well because you're constantly taking damage. Even if they're not specifically hitting you, their dots are ramping up and doing damage to you, which is building up your catharsis. I don't know how to say it still. And then bam, you just smack them with a big old damn. But also, I didn't say Harsh Discipline. Every 4 cast of Smite, your next penance is free and fires an additional bolt. So what you want to do, you want to aim for, is whenever you're not pressing anything, you're not casting anything, you want to be casting Smites to get this Harsh Discipline. So whenever you do have that big damage and you want to go for a kill or just a big healing from Atonement, you want to get that 4 cast of Smite out of the way, get that Harsh Discipline, so you're going to have 3 additional bolts on your penance. So you're going to have 7 bolts total. You're going to schism and then into a big penance. You're going to do a big loads of damage. So that's pretty much it for this build right here. It's really simple, really easy build to learn on. Definitely recommend it if you're learning Discipline Priest. And then we're going to go on to the more advanced build. This is going to be more kill potential, more healing, more atonement healing, and it's also going to be more like when you get mind control and you get phantasm and you get void tendrils. Now this is not the arena build exactly, but this is a pretty decent battleground advanced build. So the difference is, like I said, you have phantasm. Activating fade removes all snare effects. We don't really need that exactly, but you need it to get mind control. But whenever you're slowed now, you can press fade and you get out of slows. That's really big because priests don't really have any mobility, especially they got soul shape taken away. It's gonna be really good. Mind control, this is insanely good, especially in battlegrounds. You can mind control somebody that is on you, and they will kick that. They will kick mind control, and what you can do is you can cast on any of your healing spells right after that. So you can get a free kick out of the way from just mind control, and if they don't kick you, you mind control them and they can't do damage to you. So simple as that. You walk them away from you, or you mind control somebody and then walk them towards your team so your teams can kill them. So it's a really good ability. You can use this and just destroy people with it. Void Tendrils is another one that we were not taking before. This is super good if you are getting trained. You can Void Tendril. They can't dispel this. They have to kill the tendril that roots them. Sheer Terror, you don't have to take this really. I wouldn't recommend this. You can, of course, but we're not going to be really focusing on fearing in random battlegrounds while we're learning still. But yeah, you want to get as many peels as you possibly can, in my opinion, while you're learning. Especially, just get away from the people, run away from them, and then instead of this Surge of Light, you're not going to get those instant cast flash heals anymore. Also, you're really going to want to be focusing on having as much uptime on your atonement and your damage, atonement healing, and then you have mind games. Mind games does big damn. It's a shadow ability that does big damn, and whenever you put it on there for 7 seconds, the next damage they do, 27,000 damage they do, will convert to healing, and the next 27,000 healing they do will convert to damage. So if they heal themselves while they have mind games on them, it'll kill them. So really good, especially versus things like auto proc heals, which they mind games and then auto proc heals them. They can't really do anything about it. They can cancel it if they can. I'm talking about like a druid frenzied regeneration. It just kills them. So that's a really good. Mind games and druids are really good, but you can really go into battlegrounds and you want to focus on throwing this mind games on healers. You don't really want to worry about the DPS. You can, of course, but you really want to look for those healers that are in the middle of the map or in the middle of the team fight, and you're gonna throw all your burst damage just straight on that healer. He's not even getting targeted. All of a sudden he's dying, and a DPS is not even on him. You're on him. It's crazy. So the next thing on the priest talent side, the differences we got are we got Soulless. We are not taking Shield Discipline. You can still take Shield Discipline if you want to. Of course, it is going to be an easier option. This was in the beginner's one. Powered Solace, sorry. This is going to do more damage, and you're going to get more mana back from it. You do have to press it, though. It's instant, it's free cast, free mana. And, yeah. It's good. Better than the other one, but, you know, if it's only better if you remember to press it. So, maybe you can start out without it. Now, we're going to go down here. Schism, we have Malicious Intent. It's going to increase the duration of Schism by 6 seconds. You don't really need this, honestly. There's a few talents that I'll show that you don't exactly really need, but we're just going to keep going down. So, what else do we have different? We have Will and Woe. This is one of the talents that I was saying. You don't really need it. It's kind of pointless because you are constantly using Harsh Discipline. You're constantly smiting with Harsh Discipline. Wheel and Woe increases the damage of your smite stacking up, but it's never really going to get stacked up since you're always spamming smites for Harsh Discipline. I don't really get this. Don't know why it's in the game. Think it should be changed to Mind Blast, so you have the option to really hold on to your Mind Blast and then get a big old Mind Blast. That'd be really cool and really fun. Yeah, so a few ones that you can opt out of are Wheel and Woe, Malicious Intent, and then you can throw it into anything you want to. Really, personally, I would throw it into something like, you can still throw it into Contrition. Now, I don't really think Contrition's all that, I don't know, I'm not a fan of Contrition. What I would go to is Expiation, however you say that. Increases the damage of your Mind Blast and Shadow or Death by 20%, and Mind Blast and Shadow or Death consume 6 seconds of Shadow or Pain or Purge the Wicked, instantly dealing the damage. So what you can do is you can just randomly Mind Blast and Shadow or Death on somebody that has Purge the Wicked, and you're hitting, 20% harder on both of those abilities, and 12 seconds worth of dot damage as well. So that's going to be a lot of damage, just really nice damage. Or you can go into this Mind Blast. Atonement heals for 40% more when activated by Mind Blast. I would probably just go to Expiation, probably. Yeah, I think I would probably just go to Expiation. Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah, I think this is a better option. But of course, it's really up to you. I think I'll probably actually run this in this build instead of Wheel and Woe. Run one of these. Yeah, this looks pretty good. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the priest. It's not that difficult, and I'm going to have some more videos in depth going over all these PvP talents, when you would run them, because you definitely run a lot of these in, arenas, and you don't run these builds that I just showed you in arenas. You're gonna run more builds. I don't even have them made yet because I just saved these just to show this video. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. It took me, let's see, how long did I play Priest for? Up to like 3200, and many hours to learn this class, and then 20 minutes to record this video. Actually took me a few times to record this video because I kept on messing up on a few things, and I made this video, and all I ask is for you to press that like button, and it's gonna help. It's gonna help more than you know. It'll get this video from 1 view to 2 views to 3 views, all the way up maybe to 6 views. Anyways, see you later in Dragonflight. Oh yeah, twitch.tv tar_wow. Go check it out. Later.